Congratulations on picking a great big turd to fly. Make no mistake, the Q400 is just a god-awful airplane. I think what I hate most about it is the air conditioning. When the bleeds aren't sending smoke from burning oil into the cabin, this is an alarmingly regular occurrence, the ACMs simply do a terrible job regulating the temperature in automatic mode, and if you put them in manual, moving the knob the width of a hair will roast you or freeze you. Every time you change power settings down in the 10 to 40% torque range, the bleeds change from 2.2 to 2.7, 3.0, making the airflow erratic and noisy and very, very irritating. Also, if you shut the airplane down without the pack knobs in the 12 o'clock position, wherever you left them will become the new 12 o'clock next time you turn them on. Obviously, this is a huge annoyance, and it usually requires you to completely shut off the packs to reset the ECS, which, unless you want to lose pressurization, you had better do on the ground. If you forget, have fun being either freezing or sweltering for the whole flight. My second least favorite part of this POS is the brakes. Stopping this airplane is frustrating at best from the cockpit and downright traumatizing as a passenger. Don't make the mistake of assuming that, like other airplanes, when you apply a normal amount of pressure to the tops of the pedals, something will happen. This is not the case. Instead, you will have to use almost the entire weight of your body on the pedals, then wait several seconds, and then you will feel yourself slowing. This, of course, is just to slow down from a normal 15 to 20 key taxi, so plan ahead when you're taxiing. In order to slow down on landing, you will need to apply the brakes immediately. Whatever you do, don't wait until you need them, because they need to heat up in order to do anything. I am aware that this is the case with most airplanes with carbon brakes, but the Q400's brakes are an extra special case. So after applying a significant amount of pressure that you are hoping isn't enough to lock them up, you will wait several seconds and feel no deceleration due to the brakes. You will then apply a tiny bit more pressure, only to find that that was way too much, and now they are grabbing asymmetrically and you are lurching back and forth, and everyone in the back is pulling their crushed faces out of the seatbacks in front of them and looking around at the others, silently but frantically exchanging glances. Then it's finally over, and you can breathe again. After a few months on the airplane, I realized that I had no idea how to give a braking action report anymore, because it is literally poor every single time a Q400 lands. So now I just say fair every time I'm asked, because that's the most conservative thing to do, and it's probably actually at least fair to every other transport category aircraft that has ever been produced. The logic in the cockpit layout is really poor too. I'm sure you've noticed that there is only one set of controls for two MFDs. Who thought of that, huh? Granted, most of the time there's no need to have the doors page and the fuel page up simultaneously, and it's a good thing because you can't unless you cycle through the pages in just the right way. Think solving a Rubik's Cube. And what other airplane makes you specifically ask it to level off at the altitude you spun into the window? Why else did I put that altitude there if it wasn't because I wanted to stop there? There is no reason for the ALT-SL button, but at least if you're not a moron, it's not a big deal. Oh, and did you know that there isn't actually a yaw damper on this airplane? I know there is a button on the FGC to engage it, but you could have fooled me because it doesn't do a thing. You're gonna love swinging the tail back and forth, trying to keep the brick centered every single time you change power or pitch. This thing is awful in turbulence. And guess what? Since you can't go above FL 250, you are gonna feel all of it. And don't even think about asking how the ride ahead is because nobody else is flying at your altitude. Don't keep your feet on the floor when it gets bumpy, because as soon as you hit a nasty one, they will fly up and you will bust your shins on the sharp lower edge of the panel. The corners of the pedestal are sharp too, so especially watch out for your knee by the FMS because that hurts too if you bump it. Probably the same person that designed the rest of the cockpit thought it'd be really smart to house the windshield wipers horizontally instead of vertically, like every other airplane. So now, Thanks to that decision, you get to hear every single knot of wind over the wiper blades. This airplane is loud to begin with. Luckily, you can park them vertically with the wiper control, but this is officially frowned upon at my airline. Oh, and the clamshell door. Nothing quite like sitting around not getting paid for 10 minutes after you hand out the paperwork, because you're waiting for the rampers to move the jet bridge so you can close the door. Good luck and enjoy missing commute after commute, because these things are held together by spit.